Anyway, it's Friday and it is hot. Hello, Unicorn Princess. Thanks for being here. Hello, Facebook. We just started Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Hello to those people as well. Yeah, do you guys have any questions? I would love to answer them. Just told me I am live on the interwebs, guys. It's hot. And I just posted in my Facebook page about the studies that show that heat can really affect you during pregnancy. Pregnancy questions. I mean, if it's too specific, I usually can't answer it. Ariana just asked, are headaches normal during the third trimester? Ariana, they can be, but they also can be a sign of preeclampsia. So it's really important that you mention them to your provider. If they're really strong and they're not going away with Tylenol, a big glass of water and rest, then you need to call your provider. And if it's the worst headache of your life, you need to go straight into the hospital. Those are the things that I've heard. But if they're just kind of like on and off, I would mention them to your provider at your next appointment. Yeah. Does that answer your question, Ariana? Headaches can be very normal. I had a headache much of my pregnancy. If you have a blood pressure cuff at home, which they are not that expensive, you can try and take your blood pressure cuff. Ariana said it's not preeclampsia, they're on and off. I also stress a lot. Yes. Drink lots of water. I also found that trying to avoid like deli, well, you're not supposed to eat deli meat anyway, but like I had hot dogs every once in a while because it was an easy meal to cook for my family. Stuff like that. If I avoided things like that, it kind of helped. Rachel, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Those things can kind of help. So things to think about. Unicorn, I just found I'm pregnant, last one, and in a miscarriage. Anything to help the miscarriage again. Talk with your provider. Some people talk about like a progesterone, I think it's a suppository or like oral meds. I'm not really sure. Some people, Bryce Face just had her baby. Congratulations. What was I talking about? Some people have talked about aspirin. So talk with your provider about, I mean, a lot of times you miscarry because the baby's just not compatible with life. The puzzle pieces didn't line up for that one. And in this case, hopefully the puzzle pieces did line up and things will continue. And I've got to tell you guys, hope is the big one. A lot of people were like, well, if I can just get past this first trimester, I'm going to be fine. Then you start to worry about, are you in a preterm labor? It's always going to be a worry. And so a lot of it is faith. If you have faith in God or faith in the universe or just hope in general that things are going to turn out okay. So important in pregnancy and birth. Also, not very good at it. Like every time my kids go out driving, because I have teenagers or like older teens, like even when my almost 24-year-old pulls out of the driveway, I'm like, oh, I hate him driving. He's been driving for 8 years. Guys, still worried. Anyway. Sizzler, I woke up with a weird position and felt stretching. Is that bad? Not usually. It's probably in the weird position. You want to look for any cramping, bleeding. But I'm a huge fan of prenatal yoga. I think it can be really helpful. And if you still feel weird, physical therapy can be so helpful. I actually just finished some physical therapy, like behind my shoulder blade was hurting and I was kind of like putting it off. I was going to have to pay cash for it. And I was like, and the one they recommended was a drive. And I cannot tell you how helpful those people were. So, if you guys are feeling, like your body's just off, I would ask for a physical therapy consult. Hopefully they know somebody great and hopefully you can get in soon. I've heard some people that are like, I can't get in for like a month, which really sucks. I feel like I'm stressing myself out about it happening again. So for me, when I do that as a parent, I say out loud, I'm having faith on this. Like, I'm just putting it into the universe's hands. I hope things are going to be okay, but I can't keep stressing about it because you guys know that long-term stress isn't good for you or the baby. So, short periods of stress, right? You like go to catch something or, you quickly have to do something at work that seems stressful. That's okay. It's good for baby actually to have periods where they get that like adrenaline in their system. But long-term stress is not good. So hang in there, Unicorn Princess. It's tough. If anybody else has had a miscarriage and feels like her, tell us in the comments. Guys, if you have questions, you can ask them in the comments. And feel free to share this live and invite more people to it if you guys have pregnant followers. Watery, shiny, CM, is that normal? Sneezing like crazy, got over congestion. I don't know what CM is, but I gotta tell you guys, I'm not that great at like early pregnancy stuff. I really am there for like second, third trimester on. So I don't know. And I am not that great. If you guys want to talk about your pregnancy test or how to get pregnant, I'm not your gal, unfortunately. Unicorn Princess says, gotcha. Thank you. I want to be happy about it, but it's hard. Yes. Unicorn Princess, I actually on my podcast. So my podcast is called the Pulling Curls Podcast. That's my original brand. And then I created a second brand because why not? Is called The Pregnancy Nurse. But I have a podcast with my friend Winter, who runs the Still a Part of Us podcast. She had a stillbirth at 38 weeks, something like that, where she comes on and just talks about how difficult it was trying to like bond with this next baby when she was just so worried about the first one. So yeah. Michaela said, is a blood test a reliable way to find out gender, or is the only certain way an ultrasound? I believe the blood test is supposed to be more reliable, but I have heard of I can't remember what it's, NIPT, being wrong. And part of me is like, part of me wonders if the only way that can happen is a lab error versus ultrasound. You can think that you see whatever, but you're not sure. And so that can be wrong as well. So I was only 6 weeks and I'm super early right now too. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you just kind of have to live your life with hope. But that podcast, it's episode 227 of my podcast. It's called Beyond the Rainbow, Pregnancy After Stillbirth. And you might find it helpful. Pulling Curls podcast. It's on any podcasting platform. And I would love reviews. If you guys ever listen, please, please, please review it. If you're on Apple Podcasts, it means a lot. Yeah. Tell us in the comments, what flavor baby are you having? Are you having a boy? Are you having a girl? Jacqueline said, my OB is not planning on starting cervical checks at my 36-week appointment next week. She said she wasn't planning on doing one until 39. Wow, I'm real glowy here. Facebook. Sorry. Somebody must have touched my camera. Sorry, Facebook, YouTube. Just a little. Is that any better? A little bit. It's morning and I have a big window right here, so it gets a little sketch. If I want one done next week, can I still ask her to do one? I was curious to see if I had started to dilate at all. So she's wanting a cervical exam at 36 weeks. But her provider said they don't usually do them. You can 100% always ask. And honestly, they're really, especially at 36 weeks, you're going to have your GBS done. Your undies are already off. You likely are already in stirrups. Although some providers have you do the GBS swab on your own, like just in the restroom. So you can totally ask them. And there really shouldn't be a reason that they'd be like, nah, because prior to now, they did it on everybody. So there you go. I don't know. I'm always up for it. As long as your water's not broken, I'm up to check people's cervixes because I understand being curious about what's going on. Unicorn Princess said, I'll look up my podcast. Thanks. You just popped up on my FYP, so maybe that's a good sign. I hope so. TikTok knows things before we do. Everybody knows that. All right. Any other questions? I don't usually do lives this early, but I just posted a video and I had a little bit of extra time this morning before it's time to get the old teenagers up. So I thought I would pop on. I'm actually going to the AWON convention this weekend. It is like the convention for all labor, postpartum, NICU, midwives convention this weekend. It's here in Phoenix. So yeah. Briley said TikTok was telling me I was pregnant before I even found out. One of my son's friends said I just popped up on her Instagram, and I was like, he's 20. And I was like, is there something you need to ask her? Anyway, I don't think she followed me. Anyway, I'm going to that convention, so I'm super excited, hoping to meet some other labor nurses that are online and whatever, and learn some things. So what can I do to naturally help my sugar? I'm 20 weeks and already on insulin. O'Shea, it can be tricky. Some placentas just aren't going to be helpful in those situations. So I would just try and follow the diet as well as you can, and also follow up your meals with some exercise. So just a quick walk. I'm not talking about like serious cardio or anything. I'm talking about like a walk around the block, a little time on your recumbent bike or something like that. Even just some stretching, that can help your sugars as well. Amy Cox says, I've been having lots of lightning crotch, feeling and leaking fluid. How do I know if it's my water? Amy, great question. I have a few videos here on social media that talk about leaking fluid. If you think your water's broken, though, I got to tell you, you should ask your provider, see if they can do a test in the office. But usually, if it is water, it will keep coming out. And usually it does it like when you're laying down and you stand up, or if you cough, sneeze, water will come out then. And usually you get a big gush in the beginning. But usually lightning crotch doesn't equal water breaking also. So I would take those two symptoms as different. McKay, somebody said her blood test said it was a boy, and anatomy skids also said it was a boy. So hopefully it's a boy. V said she has a question. Feel free to ask it. I'll be here for a few more minutes. Any questions? Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Let's see who's here. Oh, everybody's from Instagram. Welcome, guys. I know it shows up funny on Instagram, and I don't even know if you can ask questions on Instagram. I hope you can, but yeah. Briley said, what should I expect for my next couple of weeks? I'm only 6 weeks and 6 days. Briley, so you probably start to have more symptoms, although maybe you won't. On my first baby, I really just didn't have any symptoms. Maybe my boobs hurt a little bit more, but it was honestly very similar to like when I was thinking that I was going to start my period. Some people just don't have many symptoms. You might get a little bit of cramping here and there just as the uterus grows. Obviously, if it's accompanied by any bleeding, you need to talk with your provider. But early in pregnancy, it really varies. Like some people feel a lot, some people don't. So V said, this is baby number 2. It hurts to get up out of bed and sometimes to walk. Yes. V, you might be having symphysis pubis issues or just ligament issues around your pelvis. Talk with your provider, see if they have stretches or ideas that can help you out. And if they don't, I would encourage you to ask for a physical therapy consult if that's something that you can add into your life. I was just saying, a huge fan of physical therapy. Like my doctor just recommended it for something on my shoulder. And I was like, I don't want to go. How helpful can they be? Oh my gosh, so helpful. I wish I hadn't put it off. The girl was so helpful and I really enjoyed it. If you're in the Phoenix area, it was Phoenix, but with an F, F-E-N-I-X, I think. I thought it was Phoenix, but I think they're called Phoenix Physical Therapy. They're in Queen Creek. Will I ever see my baby kicks on the outside? I'm a plus size and I have an anterior placenta. I don't know. Because your placenta is probably down low, if they start to kick up higher, probably. But I don't know. I don't know if you will or not. Will I be pregnant soon? Zero clues. I wish I had a crystal ball, guys. I would make so much money if I had a crystal ball. Who else wishes they had a crystal ball? Tell me in the comments. I have a question. I have 10 weeks, but I've been discharging light working egg yolk. Is that normal? It can be. Discharge can change during pregnancy. I have a post on pulling curls about pregnancy discharge you can check out if you're interested. Caitlin said she just found out she's pregnant, but bled the last 2 nights. So there can be some implantation bleeding. That doesn't mean that you're 100% miscarrying, but it's definitely something to talk with your provider about. I'm sorry about that. That's very disconcerting, I'm sure. Getting induced Sunday. Anything I should be aware of? I'm already 4 centimeters with my second. That is awesome, wee woo. Likely things will go pretty quick since you're already 4 centimeters. But I always recommend taking a prenatal class, even if it's your second, so that you know a little bit more about like what to expect with all that. The online prenatal class for couples, because it's your second, I would 100% recommend the cheaper, the lesser class. It can be done in 3 hours. It has a whole chapter on inductions. It's on sale right now for only, I believe it's $77. And it also includes all that kind of stuff, because you may end up, I don't know if you got an epidural last time, but you're more likely to want an epidural with an induction. You just don't know how your body's going to react to the medications. We can guess based on a wide variety of people, but that doesn't mean that your body is going to react that way. So I recommend to anybody, especially if you think if you think you might be induced, you might need a C-section, I totally recommend, even if it's not your first baby, come join me in the online prenatal class for couples. You can find it through my link once we're done here. My first blood test was 19. I had my second blood test this morning. Hopefully it goes up. Good luck to you. Yes, we will. You're getting induced because you're in so much pain and past your due date. I will say that I resisted my induction with all of my heart, my mind, and strength, and it was amazing. It was fine. And if I had let them break my water early on, I probably would have had like a 2-hour induction. So you just never know. 31 weeks pregnant with my first baby boy. He's measuring 2 weeks ahead, and his head is measuring 35 weeks. So, I mean, a lot of it is like, is he going to keep looking big? 2 weeks ahead isn't a huge deal. You got to think, as you look around a prenatal class, not a prenatal class, sorry, my friend just texted me. As you look around like a kindergarten classroom, right? Kids of all heights and sizes, and that's normal in pregnancy too. So you're just saying your baby is a little bit taller, thicker, whatever, than other babies of the same age, just like they will be in kindergarten or preschool, right? 35-week head, that's a little bit disconcerting. Those measurements are not always true. Hopefully, are they going to do another one? You're only 35 weeks. If you get another one in a couple weeks and now they show that baby is 38, then you might, I see a lot of people on here that are like, oh, people don't need to have a C-section because the baby's big, but that's not true because we see poor outcomes from baby being too big to get through the pelvis. So what I'm saying is hopefully you get another ultrasound and they can tell next time, like if baby's head's getting bigger, or some babies just have big heads. Some kids have big heads. Unicorn Princess said, I almost had my daughter in the car as future babies will come out fast. Usually, yeah. Does it have to double? I don't know, Caitlin. I'm not great on those first blood tests. Advice for home births. I got nothing. Sorry. I've only delivered in hospitals, and that's what I recommend. Woo woo. Yes, very active toddler with a broken pelvis. It's the worst. That's why my prenatal class is awesome, because you can do it from your couch and your kid can just watch Miss Rachel on your phone while you do it. I used to drink thyroid medication on my first. Can it happen again with my second? I'm not sure what drinking thyroid medication is. Yes. Yeah. So you just want to watch it every ultrasound. Again, it's not like a complete picture when we just say right now baby's head is measuring 35 weeks. We want to see like the whole picture. What is it doing week to week? So that's awesome. Also, some people might not like this, but I don't know that your OB's measurements of baby are as good as like an actual ultrasound. Don't tell anybody I said that. But you might want to go get like an actual ultrasound that's, unless you're in your office and you're getting it with like an ultrasound tech, which is different. But sometimes doctors just do it on their own, and I don't know that they're always the most accurate. That being said, there were a few ultrasound techs at the hospital. I was like, oh, this ultrasound's useless. So there you go. It can vary. It's just not an exact science, which is really frustrating. Like, I don't understand how we can know exactly how many millimeters a kidney stone is, but on a baby, we have no idea. Yeah. Jasmine, what can I do to turn my breech baby? I'm 33 weeks pregnant. The 3 things I recommend: Spinning Babies. That's a website. You just Google it. Chiropractic care. You're 33 weeks, so you'd want to start soon. And aversion, if you get far enough along, see if they can turn baby with their arms. And I have a post on the pregnancy nurse. Just type in flip in the search bar and it'll bring it up. Yeah, the measurements can be very off, which is super frustrating. Does hypoglycemia mess with the glucose test and make you fail? The thing that it can do is once the glucose test is done, you can just feel miserable. So I always recommend this, guys, serious pro tip here. Make sure that to your glucose test, you are bringing something that includes protein and carbs to the lab to eat right after. So I took a peanut butter and jelly sandwich because that has proteins, carbs. I think I used honey because I wanted like sugar right away and not a small amount of honey. So that's what I did, because my blood sugar would drop a lot right after, because I tend to do that. If I have like a lot of sugar, I'll notice my blood sugar drops. Anyway, so percentage of hematomas causing placental abruption, is it rare? I don't know. I don't know any studies on that one. Sorry. All right, guys, my timer just went off. It's time to get the peoples up in this house. Thank you guys so much for coming. It was really fun to be here. Come join me in the online. If you like chats like this, come join me in the online prenatal class for couples. It is the easy way to get prepared for birth. I just posted a video showing some of the online prenatal class for couples. If you would like a little freebie snippet, not sure that it's for you, message me and I can get you access to that as well. So I hope everybody has a great Friday and we will talk to you later.